gardeners, it's week 3 of Garden Club, and today we're going to be potting on our tomato seedlings. So that means we're going to be moving them to a bigger pot to give them a little bit more space to grow. And we're also going to try our pea microgreens. So let's get started. So take a look at your little tomato seedlings, and we're going to pick out the best two, the ones that are the biggest. So you're looking for ones that have 2 true leaves. So remember, the little leaves that come out first are the little seed leaves or cotyledon leaves. Those are the little flat ones. And then tomatoes start to grow their real leaves, their true leaves. And those look a little bit more jaggedy. So you can see that the 2 leaves that are coming out on the top of this plant are true leaves. They look different than the cotyledon leaves, the little seed leaves. First thing to do is fill up your peat pot with the rest of your potting soil that you saved. Then we're going to give the potting soil some water. Make sure it's nice and moist. So potting on gives our plant's roots so much more space to grow, and the leaves won't be crowded, and they'll get more sun and more nutrients from the soil, and that'll allow them to get nice and big and sturdy and ready to be planted outside in April. Once it hits April 10th, and that's our last frost date, we'll be able to put our tomatoes outside. But we couldn't put little tiny tomatoes like this outside right now, especially. It's way too cold, and also they're too small. It's better to plant tomatoes when they're nice and big. So now we're going to make 2 big holes in our pot, nice and deep. And then you can actually just peel your peat pot away from your roots. That way you won't have to disturb the roots too much. And your little plants will fall right out like this. And then you're going to try to keep as much of the soil with the roots as possible. So you're just going to grab your plant really gently by the leaves at the top. Don't pinch the stem, and you're going to pull the plant apart and get the root with as much of the soil as you can. Put this one down, and then you're going to stick it into your hole. And you can bury tomatoes' stems because they actually root from the stem. So they like to be buried. That gives them a chance to make more roots, and also they will become more sturdy. They won't be tall and lanky and skinny and flop over as much. And take your other plant by its leaves, and look at all those roots with the soil still on. Stick that down into your soil, and then you can bury your little plant. You can bury them right up to the first little cotyledon leaves. There you go. So now we have 2 tomato seedlings in our little pot, and later on we'll move just one of these into our big, huge pot, but for now we've got 2. So this gives us an extra chance to get a really good tomato. You can take your mister, give them a spray, and then you can take your old tag and stick it right in here, or you can write yourself a new tag. Now, what are you going to do because you still have so many more tomato seedlings? Well, you can just keep these going as kind of insurance for in case your other tomatoes have something go wrong with them. Or you can take a recycled container, use any plastic or paper container that you have, and make sure you put some holes in the bottom. And you can use some soil that you find in the yard or that you purchase. And you can plant the rest of these and you'll have more tomatoes. So I've got some soil here. This is a mixture of some soil from my compost pile and from my garden beds. I'm going to go ahead and fill my recycled pot with some of this yard soil. And this will be like an experiment too. We can see which soil the tomatoes actually prefer. I wonder which one will grow the better tomato. You can see this soil is pretty rough. It's got a lot of leaves in it and even some pieces of eggshell and stuff. I'm going to peel this open too. I'm just going to put only 1 in each of my recycled pots. Here's one teeny tiny tomato. Tomatoes love compost. They are heavy feeders. They love to suck up a lot of nutrients from the soil. So there's 1. And you can go ahead and plant all of your little tomato seedlings into recycled pots as long as you have space in a super sunny window for them, because they definitely need sun. So I'm putting my tomato onto a container to catch the extra water. So we're going to keep our seedlings nice and moist. You can water them with the mister or with a little cup of water. And it's actually good to let them dry out just a little bit between watering so that the roots are definitely getting air from the soil. So you can just stick your finger in, maybe about 1 inch down. And if it feels really moist in there, then don't water it that day. You won't need to water them every single day. And you can put a little water in the bottom too to let the container soak up some moisture so the container gets nice and moist too. And stick it in the sunniest window that you have because tomatoes love sun. Let's talk for a minute about tomato nutrition. Tomatoes are full of vitamins. In fact, they have so much vitamin C that they have 40% of how much vitamin C you need in a day. And they have vitamin A, which is great for your eyes, and vitamin K, which is great for your bones. And they've got potassium, a great mineral, and they have an antioxidant in them called lycopene, which is great for protecting cells from damage. All right, let's go outside and check our big peas and see how they're doing. Okay, we're outside with the peas, and you can see I've got them protected from the squirrels with this piece of a fan. And then I've got this coat hanger contraption on here to keep them protected. But they look great. They've been loving the cold weather, and they're growing great. And we've got, let's see, it looks like I've got 4 peas in there. So later on I might want to thin these peas. I may have to take some scissors and cut a couple of them so that there's a little bit more space, but for now I'm going to leave those in case the squirrels eat some. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mulch these peas, and I'm going to use some of this halfway decomposed leaf litter, some leaves from the yard. You could also use wood chips or grass clippings. And mulch is what we do when we put some organic material around the plants, and this protects the plants from cold and hot. It keeps the soil kind of just more moderate temperature, just one temperature. And it also keeps the moisture in so they don't dry out as fast. And then it keeps weeds from growing, which is great if you're actually out in a real garden. And then it decomposes and turns into compost and gives the plants nutrients. So mulch is wonderful. Look how great those plants look mulched. I wonder what you'll find to mulch your plants with. Then I'm going to add some of my squirrel protection back on, just like this, and keep them safe. There we go. All right, let's go back inside. Let's check on our microgreens. These have really started to sprout. I think we could pick a few today. Now, it's interesting. This is the pot of peas that I soaked the seeds first, and then this is the pot of seeds where I didn't soak the seeds first. So they're quite a bit smaller. Just that one thing made them so much faster. This is actually about 9 days after we planted the peas. Your peas will take a little bit longer or shorter depending on how much warmth they have inside and how much of a sunny window they have too. So let's make a healthy snack. The first thing to do is wash our hands because we were just gardening with all that soil. And then you can cut your pea shoots just like this, right? Pretty much at the soil, like that. I'm going to just cut a few. I'll probably cut about 1/4 of these pea shoots. I'll let the rest of these grow. So now we have to wash our pea shoots because they did come out of the soil. They're going to be dirty. So what kind of snack should we make? Well, we want our snack to have at least 2 food groups, right? So I'm thinking maybe I'll take a little piece of this flatbread. This is a half whole wheat flatbread. I've got some whole grains going. I'm going to take some of this hummus, and hummus is protein made out of chickpeas. And then I'll just put my little pea shoots right on top. You should also just taste a pea shoot by itself and see how it tastes. Wow, what does it taste like? They're amazing, right? They taste just exactly like peas. What other kind of snacks could we make? You could take a little piece of bread or a cracker or a rice cake and maybe put some cream cheese on top and then some pea shoots. Or you could take a hard-boiled egg and put pea shoots on top, or maybe some avocado toast with pea shoots on top. And then pea shoots are great on top of a salad and on top of an Asian stir fry. You don't have to even cook them, just put them on raw. There's so many delicious things to do with tasty pea shoots. Look at this nice snack. I wonder what you'll do with your pea shoots. And you can keep picking them over the next few days. They don't really grow back that much. We've cut off the growing point. They might try to sprout some leaves, so you might be able to get a second picking, but we've really cut off the growing point of the plant when we pick them, so they're just fast. And pea shoots are full of nutrition. Little pea shoots have so much more nutrition per spoonful than regular peas. They're packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and fiber. So super healthy food for you. You could put them in a smoothie too. That would be a great idea. They would be so sweet. So that's it. So we'll see you in about 4 weeks. We're going to wait for our tomatoes to grow and for the frost-free date of April 10th to come. For next time, we're going to be using our big 5-gallon fabric pot. And for that, you'll need to get some soil. So you can go purchase a bag of soil, or you can use some compost you might have, or you can dig some soil up from the yard. And also, before we actually plant the tomatoes outside, we're going to be doing some hardening off. And hardening off is when we take the plant from inside to outside for part of the day and maybe bring it back in at night. And that's to let the little baby tomato get used to the strong sun and the strong wind and the colder air or hotter air. And it will slowly build up some strength so it can handle actually living outside. And you can do that for about a week. Move the plant outside and back inside at night for, 5 or 6 days and let it get nice and strong. So in the meantime, have a great couple of weeks and we'll see you soon. Great job, everybody. Bye-bye.